Joining us for our latest briefing from OEM and our Laclede County Health Department. This morning we woke up to another beautiful sunny spring day here in Laclede County, and we're just praying that it stays that way. I hope everybody has an opportunity to get connected to folks, even if it's through a virtual medium. One of the big things as a pastor that I'm noticing is that people are feeling isolated and alone. I would like to remind everyone the telephones still work. So call somebody up, reach out to somebody. If you haven't heard from somebody in a while, reach out just so they know that someone is thinking about them and cares for them and what's going on. But we're going to start this morning off. If you would please bow your heads, we're going to start with prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for the protection that we've had thus far. And Lord, we pray again for wisdom and God, just a sense of unity among our leadership. And Father, we pray for your hand of protection and just strong decision making with our health professionals. God, we are so blessed in our community to have the people that we have that are taking care of us. Lord, I pray that you would help us keep our anxiety and our fear under control, and God, that you would continue to keep your hand of protection upon us as we weather this storm. Lord, be with all of our residents, and God, help us to come out of this strong. In your name we pray. Amen. First off, we're going to have Charlotte come and give us the update, and I just want to say publicly, they've done a fantastic job through all of this entire crisis, and we're very, very blessed to have Charlotte and her team working for us at the health department. So Charlotte, please.
Good morning, everyone. We appreciate you tuning in today, and for those that are here with us in person, we hope to provide you with some updated, helpful information. We have several community partners that are joining us today, so I will be sharing some updated numbers with you and highlighting just a couple of items this morning and then turning it over to our partners. So we're in our very first slide that will be coming up shortly. This will show the global progression from February the 27th with 42 countries reporting COVID-19 cases to yesterday with 175 countries now affected. In the next slide, this is the United States progression. And so following the numbers legend, you'll see that many states are like Missouri. They're falling in the 1,001 to 5,000 case range. The darkest colored states are 5,000 or more tests. And as of yesterday at 2 p.m., the numbers were 395,011 cases in the United States with 12,754 deaths. And so you can look from the very beginning up to where we were yesterday, what the United States is looking like as far as the states reporting. During the week of March the 12th, Missouri started seeing our first cases, and at that time we were between 1 to 5 cases. Now this slide shows the progression of cases here in the state over the past 5 weeks. Again, as of yesterday at 3 p.m., 87 counties or individual city jurisdictions reported positive cases. Cases are increasing. We're seeing that number grow each day. And in fact, in the last 24-hour time frame from April the 7th to April the 8th, the state increased by 290 cases. Also in the same time frame, there was one reporting county that had 21 cases, an increase of 21 cases. And this actually was not one of the metropolitan counties or cities. And so we expect somewhat to see our metropolitan areas with numbers like that, but certainly not the smaller counties. So that was a significant increase in our state. Also, I think it's important to take a look at the age range of the cases. So in the next slide, here in Missouri, we are continuing to see our age range of 50 to 59 being the range where we're seeing the majority of the cases. And as the numbers start populating there, you will see that the 50 to 59 age range currently is at 706 cases. And the next highest ranges is the age range just below that and above that. So right there in the very middle of the age ranges is where the multitude of our cases are. In the next slide, Missouri currently has 58 deaths that have been reported due to the COVID-19. Although the largest amount of the cases are in the 50 to 59 age range, our highest number of deaths are coming in those individuals that are 80 or older. And that's with 22 current death numbers in the 80 and older range. We know that the older population are those that can face the most severe challenges with COVID-19, as well as those individuals who have underlying health issues. So that's a current look at the deaths that have been reported in the state. Now, here in Laclede County, we want to provide you with the most updated numbers, and these were numbers just prior to coming over to the briefing this morning. Our total number of known testing currently stands at 108. The total number of known negative is at 95. Our positives are still 0 at this time, and our total number of known pending currently is at 13. So if you follow our Facebook page and you also follow the briefings that we've been doing, you will either see or hear the word known being added when we are talking about our numbers. And I want to explain that. When testing and care of patients first began, our healthcare providers were able to keep us updated with reports of potential cases, and they were doing that fairly easily. We know their workload is greatly increased. We understand that, and the reporting has become more difficult and also more time-consuming for our healthcare providers. On April the 6th, just a few days ago, the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services director actually issued a new health update, and he changed the reporting process for healthcare providers. Now, with this change, our healthcare providers are now only required to report to the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services. We've asked for guidance from the department on whether they will be letting their local health departments know those numbers and how that process will go, and we're still waiting on guidance for that. Also, some of our local providers have told us that they will continue to provide information to the local health department, and we do greatly appreciate their efforts in trying to do that. We will continue to report to the community what information we receive, and most certainly when positive cases are identified, we will share those numbers. Another clarification that I want to make as far as our pendings, we get a lot of questions, especially from our community members. Well, yesterday I saw this many pendings and today I saw this many. So let me try to make a clarification on that. There are days when we may, for example, receive 3 negative tests, and so we're able to pull those individuals that had been on our caseload off because we now know they're negative. In that same day, we may actually get 7 new pending tests. So just to let our community know, each day you are going to be seeing different numbers on those pending, because while we're pulling some off, we're adding some in the same day. There has been recommendations at the beginning of this month from CDC upon wearing face masks, and so we wanted to try to answer some questions that had come up about that. So the first question is, why is now a recommendation being made to wear cloth masks? So as health experts continue to study this disease, the studies have shown that a significant portion of individuals with the COVID-19 disease can lack symptoms or be what we call asymptomatic, or they're not showing symptoms themselves, or called pre-symptomatic. However, they're still able to transmit the virus to others. So because of this new evidence, CDC is now recommending the wearing of cloth face coverings while out in public. Now, the next question is, when do I need to wear a face mask? So the answer to that is, anytime you're out in the community or public, you should be wearing a face mask at this time. This means when you go to the grocery store, the pharmacy, to your doctor's visits, anytime you're out in public, we really would recommend, and obviously CDC recommends as well, to have a face covering on. Why is cloth masks recommended and not another type of mask? Surgical masks and the N95 respirators are in very high demand at this time, and they're really hard to get. And obviously, these resources must be reserved for our healthcare providers and our first responders who are caring for ill patients. And then the last question on this slide is, does wearing a face mask mean that I do not have to continue with the 6-foot social distancing requirement? And the answer to that is simply no. You still must require the 6-foot distancing. This mask is just a complement to this social distancing, so please keep in mind that even though if you are protected with your mask, we still are asking you to comply with the no more than 10 individuals per gathering or space and the 6-foot distancing. Now, we do know finding masks in stores or suppliers is very, very hard, almost impossible in some cases. But if you cannot find a mask, there are numerous online examples, demonstrations, and patterns for making homemade masks. And we really have seen some very creative designs. So if you cannot find masks in a store, go online. If you are a sewer, which I am not, so I would have to rely on someone else. But if you do have that talent, there are ways that you can make masks to protect yourself and your family. Another question that we keep getting in the next slide is, how long can the virus live on surfaces? And literally this question is being asked many times and the answers are still being studied. In a study that was published on March the 17th, and it was published by scientists from CDC, the National Institutes of Health, UCLA, and Princeton University, they did some studying of the SARS-CoV-2, which is the virus that causes the COVID-19 disease. And in that study, they did test aerosols and found that the COVID-19 illness was able to live up to 3 hours in the air. Copper was up to 4 hours. Cardboard, we've known for a while, 24 hours. And then plastics and stainless steel was up to 2 to 3 days. And so this is certainly why we highly recommend cleaning and sanitizing as much as possible, washing your hands thoroughly and often. This is critical to stopping the spread of the COVID-19. And in my final slide, I and my staff are out in the community and we're doing compliance checks and following up on complaints that we're receiving. And so we want to thank each and every individual that is taking this disease situation seriously and limiting your time around other people. You are helping to stop the spread of this disease. And to our businesses that have taken steps to protect the community and their employees, we want to thank you for your efforts. You are listening to the directions given, and that is appreciated. Working together, we are stronger in fighting this disease and keeping Laclede County safe and healthy as possible. And again, we do thank you. Next, I am going to turn over the mic to Judy O'Connor Schneider with our Mercy Hospital Lebanon.
Thank you, Charlotte, and thank you, everybody. I'm Judy O'Connor Snyder, as Charlotte had mentioned, and I'm representing Mercy Hospital Lebanon. Just a few updates from last week. I do want to tell you that currently we have tested 42 patients in our hospital that have presented, and we still have 4 pending tests, so that correlates in the data that Charlotte presented today. I'm really happy to announce, when you think about this disease and everything that it's led to, on a great note, Mercy Springfield Hospital, as you know, is a partner of ours. We are now able to reprocess our N95 masks. So, as you know, they're overall through the United States, there's a shortage of them. They have partnered with companies to be able to do so. So, as we wear them, and right now, all our employees are wearing masks, not the N95, but the surgical mask, especially when we're patient-facing, they're wearing the mask now. So every employee in the hospital is wearing a mask. So we're also reprocessing our N95. Currently, Mercy Springfield is in a production with all their displaced coworkers that may not be working right now because we're limiting some modalities like surgery, cardiac rehab. They are making the shields, and currently they're producing about 1,000 a day. So we're really blessed about that as well. Mercy Lebanon continues to work every day, working with our sister hospital in Springfield, as well as Cassville and Aurora and Mountain View, and we all have surge capacity plans. So if this hospital becomes inundated, I want to assure you that we have a plan on where our patients are going to go to and how they're going to be cared for well. We're also working with our HVAC companies to make more of our rooms within the hospital so they're negative pressure. And as you know, that's where we want to place our COVID positive patients or patients that are under investigation. We want to place those in negative pressure rooms. So we're currently working on that. Currently in Springfield, they have about 255 beds right now that are negative pressure. So they will be ready for the influx if we do see that, and to know that you're all going to be taken care of well. With that, I don't have a lot to add, just one more blessing. We did open forward triage, as I talked about last week. It is out front in our emergency room. We're actually able to screen our patients as they drive up and they're wanting emergency care. We can screen them from the car, and then with that, we can send them either to the trailer or inside, or if we do have someone that we're really, really concerned about, we're able to have that patient enter into the back of the hospital directly into a negative pressure room so no one else in the hospital is contaminated if we suspect someone with COVID-19. So a lot of our patients that are pulling up for emergency services can be screened outside, can be treated outside in the trailer, and don't even have to enter our hospital. So we're really blessed with that. That started on Monday, so I wanted to let the community know about that. Next, I'm going to turn it over to one of our community partners. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, hello, everybody. My name is Mike Dow, Director of Ancillary Services from Lake Regional. I work at the lake, but I live here in your community. I've lived in Lebanon since 2000. So I wanted to sort of talk briefly about our partnership with the city and the county to offer testing for COVID-19. We did open up a location right by the Health Department, 325 Harwood, and we've got that up and running as of this week. So current numbers to date, we've done 20 tests there, no positives coming back so far. Our experience at our Osage Beach testing facility was we've so far done 257 tests, and the positive rate is around 7% for that testing site. So I think it's a matter of time, more than likely, before we have a first positive. So I think I want to commend everybody for the social distancing, and as Mercy is doing here in Lebanon, we yesterday began with all employees wearing masks and doing everything that we can to slow the curve and flatten the curve. So I want to make sure that I put out that in terms of testing availability, that we have capacity to see 30 to 40 tests per day should there be that much need. So far, the experience here in Lebanon has been we've seen folks from St. Roberts, Richland, and our community come for testing. So all of this is driven by a provider's order. So just because Lake Regional is here doing that, it is no way Lake Regional centric. We want to make sure I get the message out that it is any provider, any clinic, any system that needs testing, we're here for you. It just requires an order and call for an appointment. And the supplies are what's driving how many tests that we can do in any given day. So we feel really good about a 30 appointment number in both testing locations currently. What we do hope to be able to do is in the next couple of weeks, as we build reserves and we monitor our supply distribution, to be able to offer more should the community require that. So again, no walk-ins, contact your physician. And if you do not have a physician, we do have a 24-hour nurse triage line that we're staffing to help facilitate a connection with a community member to a provider for a virtual visit. That number would be 573-348-4642. 7419. And for any additional information, you can go to lakeregional.com on the COVID-19 page. Thank you.
Pastor did say he would wash our feet, but we're not going to make him do that today. Hi, my name is Laura, and I'm from the Walmart here in Lebanon. First of all, I want to tell you how blessed this community is, because being on this task force for the last 6-7 weeks, I have found that your leadership, both in the city and the county, they're concerned for you, they are praying for you, and they are working tirelessly to make sure that everything is handled correctly and that you are safe and informed as much as you can be. As far as Walmart, our main focus has been being safe for our customers and our associates. We're working around the clock to ensure that our store is clean, sanitized, and just a few ways that we are doing that. Now both entrances are open. They have ingress and regress lines, so there's not as much interaction with customers as they come and go out of our stores. And they are also being monitored. We're allowed to have 450 people in our store right now, and so we're keeping track of how many people are coming in and going, and we're making sure that they're staying 6 feet apart. We have backpack sprayers now, so as the shopping carts come into the garages, they are being sprayed down with sanitizer, and there's also wipes right there for the customer if they prefer to do that as well on their own. We've hired extra maintenance, just so that we can remain clean. They have a checklist, a mile long it seems. At least that's what they tell me. But anyway, they're specifically cleaning everything every day, sanitizing all hand contact surfaces so that we are, and multiple times a day, so that we are as clean as we can be. We have Germ-X available to all of our associates in multiple areas of the store, so the cashiers, as they're handling money, or as they go to lunch or whatnot, they're able to use that sanitizer. All of our cashiers are sanitizing the registers after every customer on the key cards and any contact surfaces that the customers may touch so that they are clean. Yesterday we installed sneeze guards in the pharmacy, and those are coming for the registers as well. We have face masks available now to all of our associates. This is on a voluntary basis, but they've always had gloves available. But now they have face masks so they can start wearing every day. Starting tomorrow, our associates will have a separate entrance that they will come into, and it's going to be on in the automotive side of the store. When they walk in, they're going to be health checked. We're going to check their temperature, and we're also going to have a few questions that we ask them to screen on their current health, and then we'll decide if they're able to go ahead and start work. Walmart has encouraged and supported our associates in their decision to self-quarantine, whether it's because they've come in contact with somebody or if they just don't feel comfortable being at work right now. We definitely do not want them to be somewhere where they don't feel safe or comfortable, so we are allowing them to take that time to be at home and do what they need to do. What that has done is that has opened up job opportunities for our community for people that are displaced. So we are hiring, and we are hiring, and we are hiring. So if you know of anyone or if you need a job, we are desperate to hire several people so that we can maintain our store, take care of our associates, and also take care of those people in the community that may not have a job at this time. Did I say we're still hiring? Yeah, we are still hiring. So we don't know what the future is going to bring. We are literally adapting every day. I was telling Charla that when we hear there's a conference call, we kind of, what's going to happen now? But we've been able to adapt, and our community has been able to adapt. And I just want you to know what the community has done for our associates. It's difficult to be in that environment, but when we have gotten so many thank yous and so many I appreciate what you're doing. And it doesn't just affect the associate that you're talking to, because when you go by the break room, you hear that associate telling the associates at their table, I had a customer just come through and tell me how much they appreciated that I was here today. And that just makes everybody feel a little bit better. We're all in this together, every one of us, and we're all doing our best. And we've seen the community just rally and be adaptable as well. With the 6 foot, you're not having to tell people. They're doing it on their own. And so I just feel like we are in a blessed community. And, if you ever have any questions, management's there to help you out with whatever we can do. Our online grocery is available every day if you don't feel like coming into the store. And so we're in it with you, and we'll be here for your resources. Thank you.
Thank you. There you go.
I'm Kim Light, president of Heritage Bank of the Ozarks here in Lebanon, and I was asked to speak a few words about the Paycheck Protection Program, better known as the PPP and various other assorted names that it's been given, mostly by the bankers, I think. This is a stimulus program. It's a great program, a stimulus program to help employers keep their employees working. It's a Treasury Department program that's administered through the Small Business Administration and then distributed through the banking industry, the financial institutions. And I believe most banks, credit unions, farm credit services are participating in the program. They allocated $550 billion to this program. That's billion with a B. And I heard a congressman on a webcast before the program started. He said this will be enough money. Well, they're going back today to ask for another $250 billion because the program has been that popular, and they see the need for that additional funds. Basically, and I won't take much time explaining the nuts and bolts of it, because I encourage you to contact your local financial institution, but it is, the way it's calculated, virtually any business that has a payroll will benefit from this. And I know we've dealt with several businesses that are, even though they may not be directly affected by this virus and have fully intended to keep their employees employed, they still are benefiting from this because this crisis, this disease affects everyone somewhat. So I'm encouraging everyone to participate in this program. The way it's calculated, just very simply, is a business takes their annual payroll expense, and that's all payroll expense. That's benefits that they may pay, gross pay, and they divide that figure by 12 and then multiply that by 2.5 times, and that's their eligible number. That's what they're eligible for this loan program for. And so what the stipulation is, if you use that amount that you're eligible for payroll and a few other eligible expenses that I won't go into the details, this debt is forgiven. Any that you don't use for payroll then is paid back at a 1% loan. So it's really a good deal. The intent of the program is for all of the debt to be forgiven. So once again, there's a lot of information out there about the program. I urge our business communities and our employers to be patient with this because, and I won't get too political, but as most political programs, it's kind of rolled out, and everyone understands the sense of urgency of getting the funds out there so you can keep paying your people. But it started last Friday. Friday was the first day of eligibility, and Treasurer Mnuchin came on and said, the day you apply, you will get your funds. Well, that's not the case at all. And now they've backed off and said, you will have your funds within 10 days. And most financial institutions can comply with that. So, but, a lot of people are saying, okay, where's my funds? Where's my funds? So be patient. If you apply, virtually you will be approved. And all types of organizations, nonprofits, churches, there's even though it's administered by the Small Business Administration, there's organizations that are eligible for this program that would not typically be eligible through an SBA program. But again, the whole purpose of it is to keep your employees employed. And in that regards, it's a great stimulus program. It's unbelievable almost that close to 800 million, and everybody says the 250 will be approved, but it's almost unbelievable that an $800 billion is being pumped into the economy just to try to keep people employed. And so I encourage everyone that is an employer or is a part of a nonprofit or a part of a church to check out this program. Contact your local financial institution. Like I said, most banks, credit unions are participating in the program, and they'll be glad to give you more specific details. But of the applications that we've received, and we've received a bunch of them, there's not been one applicant yet that hasn't benefited from this. So it's a good thing that we are practicing social distancing, because I would have probably been hugged so many times when I've broken the news to people, hey, you qualify for this much money, that I'd probably have broken ribs or something. It's kind of cool, though, to see people benefiting from a government program like this. So, thank you.
Thank you. All right. Good morning, everyone. As many of you may know, I'm Mayor Jared Carr from the city of Lebanon, and just hearing everybody speak today about our community really warms my heart, and hopefully it warms yours as well. Our community really is pulling together, and I can't say enough to thank the Laclede County Health Department and Charlotte and your team in a fantastic job that you guys are doing throughout this whole entire pandemic. And we certainly appreciate your help in making this a safe community and everything that you guys do, as well as our health department community partners with Mercy and Cox and Lake Regional as well. All of you guys I know are doing everything you can in your power to keep us all safe, and it is certainly appreciated. I want to also throw a thanks out to our business community for everything they do, Walmart being here, and everything that you guys have done and worked through, other large retailers in town and small retails. Everything in town, I think, is really everybody's pulling together and working together and making this place such a wonderful place to live. Even though we are going through these uncertain times and we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, we don't know what's going to happen next week, we don't know what's going to happen a month from now, but we're going to get through it together, I think, and that's been our mission and our message since day one has been together, and we're going to get through this and come out Lebanon strong, and I really commend the community for being here and doing that and working together. And I just want to reiterate that we at the city are doing everything that we can to keep everybody functioning, keep everybody informed. And so if you haven't yet, follow us on Facebook. We push out all of the Laclede County Health Department's messages as well, and just want to reiterate that working together, we're going to get through this, and do appreciate everybody's support and appreciation during this time. So thank you.
Good morning, Randy Angst, Laclede County Presiding Commissioner and a small business owner. And I just want to reiterate what's been said here this morning. And I really want to thank the Laclede County Office of Emergency Management and the Laclede County Health Department for taking the lead on this several weeks ago. It's really been beneficial for our community and everyone involved to be able to stay in constant communication to share what's going on throughout the community, and it's really been a team effort, if you will. From the county standpoint, I want to remind everyone that the Sheriff Millsap and his staff, Sam Allen and others, have put together protocols in place. Those are maintained. The courthouse is being sanitized, and we've remained open to provide essential business for our friends and neighbors here in Laclede County. So hats off to everyone. We're not through it yet, but we're seeing, I believe, people taking this more seriously now. I want to thank all the business owners for taking the steps that they have. I've seen in the last week, as I've shopped in different locations throughout the community, it really seems to have made a difference. And so my deep appreciation for all the individual businesses, large and small. Now, I'd like to put on my small business hat for a moment and just say that I've had comments from other small business owners in the community, and I just keep reminding myself and reminding them that when we first put our key in the door, we didn't have any expectation for success. It takes hard work, it takes determination, and that's why we've been there, and that's why we'll remain there. So I'm just encouraging all those in the small business community to stay strong. We're going to get through this. As Kim had mentioned earlier, there's tools out there and resources that are now available. Please check into those. Now's the time not to give in. Now's the time to buckle down and do what we know needs to be done for our business and, more importantly, for this community. And with that, who is the next speaker?
I'm Brian Armstrong, Laclede County Emergency Management. We like to thank everyone for coming and sharing information today. We will continue getting information out the best we have knowledge of. We try to follow our health department, and she is calling our lead go-to. Everyone that has spoke today, has websites, web pages. If you have questions in between, we are trying to answer those questions as quickly and as accurate as we can. We'd like to thank everyone again for being here, giving your information, and we'd like to thank everyone that watches. And if you have questions, send them to us, and we will try to get those answered. Thanks, everyone, very much. Good day.